Hey everyone, I'm Rachel, and this is the first boat I've ever owned or sailed. I bought it as a way to learn to sail, but long story short, the past 4 months have been more about repairs than actual sailing. But things are finally looking up. While there's still a lot to do, I'm getting more and more time on the water, learning the ropes, and really starting to enjoy it. This is my partner Jason, a commercial skipper. He wasn't exactly thrilled about my boat purchase from the start, as there's been nothing but issues. But now, after over 4 months of owning it, slowly, he's warming up to the idea of coming for a sail, now that most of the big jobs, fingers crossed, are done, and I am becoming more competent on the water, thanks to David, who has been teaching me how to sail and working hard alongside me on the boat. This is the second time Jason has come out sailing with me since I started learning. We left after work on Friday night with a plan to sail to Waikalabubu Bay, which is on the north end of Motutapu Island, anchor there for the night and then spend the next day exploring the Gulf. We were having an amazing time, perfect conditions for a beginner, with light manageable winds around 10 knots gusting up to 18. For the first time ever, dolphins were swimming at the bow of the boat and we had a stunning sunset behind us. It really felt like everything was coming together. Jason could finally see that we could both enjoy taking the boat out now, with nothing major to worry about. Wrong! Just as the sun sets, Jason notices the carpet in the salon is wet. He rushes down into the cabin to discover seawater pouring into the battery bay, and in addition to that, the engine bay was flooded. Luckily, we'd brought the wetback along, so Jason started pumping the water out while I tried to stay calm and sail us somewhere safe. Although it was hard to try and think of anywhere safe when your boat's taking on water, and whenever you go, you'll still be in water. We couldn't return to the marina though, since the tide had dropped too low for us to get back in. We continued with our plan to anchor, but needless to say, I didn't get too much on camera as it was mostly shouting and swearing. After a restless night at anchor, we made our way back to the marina, knowing we couldn't re-enter until at least 7:30 a.m. We set off in the dark, motor sailed for part of the journey, and then finally got back just as the sun was rising. Once we were back in the berth, as a side note, I reversed my boat for the first time into it, we were able to properly investigate everything in the daylight. While investigating the issue last night in the dark, Jason noticed a thin hose that was open at one end, which seemed to be the source of the seawater entering the battery bay. He lifted the hose and attached it to a higher point to stop any water from leaking out, which seemed to serve as an interim fix. The other area that had filled was the engine bay. When the engine isn't running, there's no seawater entering. So after spending the rest of the day and the next few days researching, it seems like I have a dripless seal on the propeller shaft minus the dripless part. Here we are running the engine, and you can see the spot where the water is coming from. While we are in the engine bay, we also spent some time trying to figure out why my engine doesn't want to stop, with the current makeshift system in place. When I bought the boat, there was a small plastic ball next to the key start attached to a thin piece of rope that you have to pull with all your might to kill the engine. That's now not working, so I have to manually open the engine bay and apply pressure to stop it. I'm considering buying a valve to stop the airflow to try and stop the engine. Jason also showed me where my sea strainer is and how to clear it. On top of the leak and the engine not wanting to stop, there's also been a strong chemical burning smell when the engine reaches a certain throttle. We tried troubleshooting it several times, but been a bit baffled since the temperature gauge always reads within tolerance. Using a heat gun, we checked the temperature of various components in the engine bay, and it seems like the adhesive tape covering the exhaust insulation could be the source. So, we try again. Today, the tides are exceptionally high, which you can see from the water overflowing onto the verge. The wind is nice and light again, making it a good time to practice. After watching several YouTube videos, we set out to figure out how to reef the mainsail. A crucial skill for when the winds are strong, and you need to depower the boat for better control by reducing the sail area. We set up what we think will work, but we'll have to let David have a look next time he's on board, as he's the expert. We successfully make it to Rakina Island and anchor in front of a small islet we visited many times on Jason's trailer boat. For every 15 minutes of engine use, we use the wet vac to vacuum out the water entering the engine bay. Not ideal, but it lets us keep sailing and getting out on the water. Jason volunteers to check out my hull and give it a scrub if needed. I'm delighted. Time to test out my new, well second-hand, tender. We figured out a shortcut for inflating it by reversing the suction on the wet vac, which gets it nearly full in no time, with just a little manual pumping needed at the end. I purposely went for a small 2-metre tender so I can lift it on my own and it won't take up too much space. I've been dying to fly my drone over my boat, and today's the day. I tuck it into my dry bag, hoping it does its job, before we paddle over to the islet. absolutely loving life after getting to film my very own boat, which I actually sailed myself to the location. We head back to the boat. I'm feeling absolutely over the moon. Doing the exact reverse of how we inflated the tender, Jason wraps it up nice and compact and it fits easily in the cabin. As we head home, Jason takes the helm. This has easily been my favourite day since owning the boat. I can't believe it's mine, and I've actually sailed it somewhere and we've been able to enjoy it together. As we head back into the marina, the sun sets, and with it, the creeping dread of having to reverse the boat into the marina berth looms over me. But like so many things on this journey that I once thought I'd never be able to do, hopefully it won't be too long before I gain confidence in that too.